Call to order the Boardroom of Zoning Appeals for March the 30th. The quorum being present. You could review the minutes, please, if you would, ladies and gentlemen, and make any changes or comments, if you would, please.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes carried. Okay, old business. Front setback variance, front yard variance, side variance, rear yard variance, landscaping variance, dustless pavement variance, and storage warehouse setback variance for proposed self-storage warehouse facility at 287 Sandhill Road, property owned by G&CB Enterprises. Mr. Green.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We have, this was an actual submittal from December that's been deferred the last few months. We received an initial submittal of a plat and a site plan that this applied to, and basically there's 8 variances that have been requested, and they're outlined there on your all's report. And if you look on the site plan, or actually the aerial here, it kind of gives you, we never received a PDF copy of their site plan, so I don't have anything to show on that, but I do have the aerial and the zoning map we can kind of go by to guide us. I guess, I don't know if you all probably want to vote on these separately, if that's that's okay with you all as the board. Basically, the first of the variances is a request to reduce the 35-foot front setback to 5 feet. It's an existing condition on the property. When they built the property there along Sand Hill Road, these mini storages and the pavement, actually the mini storage buildings encroach on the 35-foot front setback up to a point of 5 feet there in that area, and that is with the right-of-way dedication. So basically, that request is to reduce that down to 5 feet in the narrowest spot.
Okay, this board's seen this several times, and obviously there's a large list of items that are deficient. So let's handle these one at a time to keep things orderly. Is anyone else from the public who'd like to speak on this matter? No one here to speak. I'll accept the motion one way or the other for a technical variance to be requested for reduce from 35 to 5 feet.
Make a motion to be denied.
I have a motion to be denied. Do I have a second?
Second.
You have a second? Those in favour for the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, variance being requested to reduce the 20-foot front yard to 0. I have a motion one way or the other, please.
Make a motion to be denied.
We have a motion to be denied. Do I have a second?
I second.
You have a second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3, variance being requested to reduce the 10-yard side yard to 0. Have a motion one way or the other, please, John.
Make a motion.
I move that the motion be, or the variance be denied.
Motion. Have a second?
Second.
You have a second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Variance has been requested to reduce the 20-yard rear yard to 0. Have a motion?
Make a motion that the variance be denied.
Have a motion be denied. Have a second?
Second.
Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Take a few seconds for Bruce to catch up.
Thank you.
And variance has been requested for the landscaping requirements. Have a motion one way or the other, please.
Motion to deny.
The motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, a variance has been requested from the dustless surface requirement. Can I have a motion one way or the other?
Make a motion that it's denied.
We have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And we'll take 1 second.
Second.
Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, a variance has been requested from the 220-foot requirement for a self-storage mini warehouse to be located 220 feet from the road frontage in a C2 zoning district. Do I have a motion one way or the other, please?
I move the motion, or the variance be denied.
I have a motion for denied. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, a variance being requested from the front setback requirement, lot 1A. Do I have a motion one way or the other?
Make a motion it's denied.
We have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on, new business. Special exception for a retail warehouse facility in a C2 zoning district to be located at 131 Charter Place, tax map 29, parcel 2.10, property owned by ANO LLC. Agreed.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is existing use, basically, it's right off of Charter Place, and it's occupied by lumber liquidators. Some of the proposed building would be retail showroom, while the other would be warehousing, and a special exception is required for limited warehousing in a C2 district. I've got a copy of the site plan here, and they're showing the proposed building. Their existing building is right in this area, and lumber liquidators, I think, is gonna occupy this portion of the building, and the rest of this building will be occupied at a later date. It shows some landscaping they have on site there. The aerial, there's their existing building, and the proposed building will be in the rear there.
So, part of it's gonna be, they're saying warehouse.
Yes, sir. And kind of show you some pictures of the existing property here, how they, the entrance here. It's all gravel. That would have to be paved. It would have to be desolate surface. And they showed a phasing plan, which that's part of the site plan, but basically the building in the rear would be constructed, and they would get a temporary CO, and at that point demolish this building, and that's where the majority of the parking and landscaping would be placed.
I was under the impression it was all gonna belong to one owner when it was put in. That would all be,
I think it would still be under the one owner. That I think they, from what I understand, I think they would lease the space for the warehousing. If that's correct, I don't.
And both uses would be,
Excuse me, sir, don't mind you just stand at the podium
Sorry, yes.
and just raise your right hand to be sworn in, please, just so we can take some information from you. Bruce, if you would.
you swear or promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Wesley Harris. I'm with Reagan Smith Associates, 315 Woodland Street, Nashville.
Thank you, sir.
And there would be two users of the building. Both users would be consistent with lumber liquidators, where there would be a retail type showroom in the front of the building, and then the rear of the building would basically be storage space. I mean, I think when you hear warehouse, you're kind of thinking trucks running in and out, bay doors all along the back of the building and stuff, and that's not, it's not exactly the type of use. We would actually only have one bay door for each building on the rear of that building, and the building materials would be masonry, so it's not, I say it's the same use as lumber liquidators, but it's a definitive upgrade from the existing building that they have there now. It wouldn't be a metal warehouse type building, I think, is what kind of the picture that gets created when you hear warehouse.
Grant, would you go back to the layout of the building?
And I do have color
One more.
renderings if
Right
you'd
there.
like to see the building.
Where the dotted line comes down in the middle, to the left of, is that going to be the lumber liquidators? And to the right, what you're going to be You're gonna be subleasing or leasing to someone else, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
And it
Okay.
would be the same type situation where they would have stores, retail, showroom type of
Okay.
space in the front of the building, and then the rear
Warehouse.
would be for
Warehouse.
material storage. The entire building is 20,400 square foot. Lumber liquidators is around 6,000, I think, and then 14,000 in the other building.
Am I correct in this? Is there no exterior warehousing allowed on this property? Is that correct?
They couldn't have it stored outside.
All
No, sir.
warehousing has to be enclosed, correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, and
So
all
we're not gonna,
materials.
so we're not gonna see a bundle of material sitting around the exterior of it?
No, sir, all materials
Okay.
would be self-contained within the building.
And this is permitted as a special exception in C2, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if you
What
look
I'm
at the
looking
surrounding area as well, that it is kind of a commercial industrial transition area. I mean, there's a lot of I-2 mixed in with the C2 in that area, so it is pretty consistent with the surrounding area.
Mr. Chairman, can we allow him to go get the pictures he just said he had?
Absolutely, yeah. You have those pictures, Valerie? Just while I was pulling up, John, just a quick question, this is for staff on the temporary CO. So you put the building up and you say, give them a temporary CO, is there a length of time that temporary CO is good for?
60 days.
60 days.
Yeah, and that's consistent with what we've been doing in the past. I know we'd set that as a good period of time to be able to transition over and finish the site work.
I apologize, I only have one copy.
So just a quick question on that temporary CO, you understand that it's good for 60 days, that the other building must be pulled down at that point in time?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And our intent is to go through everything in the and get that parking lot built and everything to plan.
Okay.
It benefits lumber liquidators to get, oh, sorry. It benefits lumber liquidators to get us off-site as fast as possible, and that is the goal. I mean, weather permitting, we don't anticipate it taking a full 60 days.
So 6 days is sufficient for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what we can expect it to
Yes,
look
sir,
like?
that's
Okay.
the color rendering from the architect for
Okay.
the
Very good.
building.
Very good.
This is for staff too, on transitional screening, is that included or taken care of, or has that been addressed, or is that part of this?
This item actually has not been addressed. It's was one of the things I spoke with him about today, that transitional screening on the sides, with the shape and narrowness of the lot, it wouldn't be, I don't think the lot's very wide, and with that being a 35-foot screen on both sides, that would pretty much limit that use. There wouldn't be hardly any building to be able to be constructed on a lot. So one of the things that they might be able to look at is maybe some other options, and that's one of the things in our zoning ordinance. You all have the ability to look at different options as far as what you all would allow in lieu of a transitional buffer, whether it be a fence or a berm or something like that, and you all could definitely look at those options if you'd like. I think right now, if you look at the property, there's a barbed wire fence on the side, on the sides here, and it's got the there's chain link and barbed wire on top. I think that's on both sides.
But on the site plan, they have.
What about the backside?
Yeah.
That's the right-of-way fence, I believe, for the interstate there.
Yeah, we'll check that out here.
Well, there's one good thing about it, the building's gonna be all the way over to the minimum setback. You're not gonna have to worry about storing anything out there. There's not gonna be no room to store it.
That's true.
You know, I mean, if there's some good news in it, to me, that would be it.
Although this is a request for the BOZA, they do have a beautification plan for the site plan.
Yes, they do meet their minimum per acre landscape requirements, which they have placed in the front, which that would be here where the existing building's at. There would be several canopy and understory trees in the front. Along the sides there, it is, that would limit them quite a bit.
On the drawing that you were showing us just now, that you handed around,
Yes, sir.
is the back of the building gonna be about the same as the front and the coloring and everything?
Same type materials and colors. Yep. Yes, sir. It'll be that way all the way around.
That's pretty much the standard color pattern y'all have in lumber liquidators around the country, isn't it?
I think it's pretty typical. I'm not familiar with a lot of lumber liquidators, but I think
So Grant, is that, I mean, are they gonna have to remove the entire fence, or would that fence suffice as it is, as it stands now, or?
It's all really, I mean, if you all feel that a different fence should be put up, I mean, y'all could, request that a different type, material, wooden, vinyl, whatever you all would, see fit. I mean, y'all could look at that as well as options. I think mainly what, it looks like maybe they had that up for security purposes. So that may need to be taken into account, but however, it might be something that, you might want to look at its screening from the adjacent properties. There's the hotel there to the side, Driftwood, and then another similar type use over on the other side, which I don't think we have a good picture of that, but over here. And as you can see, it's a similar type building, similar type use.
I believe it's much like what lumber liquidators is right now, I think.
Yes, sir.
So what are y'all's intentions as far as the fence?
Our original intentions were to leave the fence, but if, barring the part that comes into the lot, but along the property lines, we were gonna leave the fence, but, if that is something that we need to address, we would be open to discussing that.
Does the fence belong to the property owner there, or does it belong to the neighbors?
I was just looking at that, and I believe, for the most part, the fence is on us. There's some places along the hotel that I would have to look at on a larger scale than what I have here, so I don't know if it gets over on the hotel any, but it looks like the property, to our east, that fence is totally on us over there.
Well, I mean, after the project's finished, is the fence gonna stop at the front of the building coming forward, or are you going to fence off the parking lot in the front later on?
There was not any intentions of fencing off the
Parking
lot in the
lot? No,
front.
bring it to the front of the building and tie it back in right there then? Tie the fence in on each side on the front of the building? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, actually.
I didn't see how it was, what the plan was for it.
Can I go discuss that with the builder real quick?
One item, and I think it plays a part in the transitional screening, and what we typically look at is, there is commercial properties to the side, but it's mainly a industrial around that. Basically, you all could look at it either way. You all have the ability to change that. It isn't adjacent to any residential properties or anything like that. So, which I definitely would recommend if it did, we should look at something. But
But it is a chain link fence, and previously we had asked them to slap that fence, correct?
I don't think we've addressed the fence up until this point, but it is something that we could ask them to look at changing.
Do you have any comment on that, sir?
Well, the intent was just to leave the fence and have it just stop. Basically take out the interior across the front and just leave the fence the way it is. I would entertain suggestions if it will help us here.
Any suggestions or comments from the board, in one way or the other?
I mean, I'd be okay leaving the fence just like it is myself. I mean,
I
as
suggest-
long as it don't get into the front, as long as it don't get in, not past the front of the building. I mean,
Okay.
that'd be my suggestion.
We
to
can
that.
agree to that, yes, sir.
Just keep it behind the front of the building.
I mean, I'm in agreement with that because, you know, due to security reasons, I think that would make sense to leave the fence there. If they can still build within that envelope, I mean, I don't see any reason why they should have to pull it up. Because at some point, they're still gonna have to protect that back property and those back doors. So I don't see any reason why.
Does the landscaping plan meet our criteria then?
Yes, sir, yeah,
Okay,
they
as long as the
have,
landscaping plan meets the criteria, I mean, I'd be happy leaving the fence like it is myself. That's just myself.
Any other comments from the board? Any other comments from the citizens? With that, I'll entertain a motion, one way or the other, for the special exception of the retail warehouse facility in the C2 zoning district, located at 131 Charter Place.
I move we approve the variance as submitted.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Just for the technicalities, want to ensure that we just include in the motion that the temporary CO is good for the 60 days, so that they
Yes.
know that it is good for 6 days. Agreed?
Agreed.
Second is agreed?
Correct.
With that, all in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, new business number 3, transitional buffer variance for a proposed Dollar General store to be located at the corner of Sand Hill Road and Fergus Road, tax map 14, parcel 32, current zoning C3, property owned by Timber Oak Properties.
yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, this is the transitional buffer variance requested by the applicant. They're requesting to build a dollar store at this corner of Sand Hill and Fergus. I know this is some other issues that we had discussed with the, that was discussed at the Planning Commission workshop. However, they have addressed those issues. And I think, you know, at the Planning Commission, you all also can amend, you know, the transitional buffer requirements as you see fit. They have included a substantial buffer here on both sides. Basically, they're just asking for a variance for 2 small areas where it encroaches right here, where it encroaches over on the pavement, the proposed pavement, and then here where the detention pond, or one of the detention ponds will be located. Basically, they're showing the required screening in these other areas, which, you know, does far exceed our landscaping requirements. And they're also showing some landscaping in the front of the site too. So it is, you know, it's a reasonable request. It's which, you know, it can also be allowed at Planning Commission level too, but they went ahead and requested the variance just to be sure.
Is anyone here to speak on this matter? Stand at the podium and raise your right hand and be sworn in, please.
Do you swear or promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I will.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Adam Sager. I'm with Dale & Associates, representative engineer. We are at 516 Heather Place, Nashville.
Thank you.
Like Grant was saying, this is a small variance request for the transitional buffer. We've wiggled in this site, and the corner along the drive is just where it has to go. That's our hardship we're coming to you with, is that we just can't move that drive any further to the north. That little corner right there is 300 square feet. And then there's an additional approximately 1,000 square feet along the detention pond where the detention pond facility encroaches into the transitional buffer. Obviously, this area around the pond will be planted heavily with the landscape buffer, evergreen trees, to help compensate for that. And we respectfully request your variance on this, and I'm here to answer any questions.
I just got a question for you, Grant. Where all this buffer is around the perimeter of the property here, do we have any electric lines there? Because now there's a lot of controversy about everybody wanting to come out and prune the trees after they grow a little bit, you know. We plant trees under lines, then they have to prune them later on. So I just wonder if any of this that y'all laid out here is going to be in any way of any lines.
I see one right here.
I mean, I would just
For
encourage you
sure.
to make whatever you plan in there where they won't have to be doing no butchering, for lack of a better word, later down the road. You know, to keep it all looking good. But, I mean, as far as the buffer, it looks good. I mean, it looks good and thick, what you're gonna have around through here. I wouldn't have any problem with it myself, what they requested.
If I may, we
Yeah.
did the survey on the job, and
Okay.
there is no overhead
No
electrical lines
overlines.
going through that
Okay,
area.
that answers my question. Thank you very much. I just want to save us all trouble later down the road. Okay.
Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? With that, I'll take a motion for a transitional buffer variance for the Dollar General store located at the corner of Sand Hill Road and Fergus Road.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we allow this variance to reduce the transitional buffer.
We have a motion for acceptance of the transitional buffer. Do I have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Anyone from the public want to speak on this? With that, all in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Anything else for this board? Any other comments from the board members? With that, we'll call this meeting adjourned.